On the cold
We're gonna
evening
win
of
this game
February
tonight,
24th,
boys.
1978, five close friends left a basketball game in Chico, California, expecting to be home before midnight.
This is our
Instead,
game!
they disappeared without a trace. Their abandoned car would later be discovered deep in the mountains, miles away from the route they should have taken. Months later, investigators would uncover disturbing clues that raised more
Good
questions
evening, guys.
than answers.
Finding everything okay tonight?
Why had they driven into the wilderness? Why had one of them survived for weeks without using the food surrounding him? And what happened to the fifth man, whose body has never been found? To this day, the mystery of the Yuba County Five remains one of the strangest missing person cases in American history. The five friends were Jack Madruga, Bill Sterling, Ted Weiher,
Good
Gary
evening, guys.
Mathias,
Finding everything
and
okay
Jack
tonight?
Hewitt. They lived in Yuba City, California, and all shared a love for sports, particularly basketball.
This is our game!
Four of the men had mild intellectual disabilities, while Gary Mathias, the oldest of the group, had previously served in the U.S.
This is our
Army and was
game!
living with schizophrenia. Thanks to medication and strong family support, Gary had been doing well for months and was considered stable. The men were members of a local basketball team that competed in events for adults with developmental disabilities. The following morning, they were scheduled to play in an important tournament. They were excited. Some had even laid out their uniforms before leaving home. None of them packed extra clothes or camping supplies because they fully expected to return that night. On February 24th, they drove to Chico to watch a college basketball game. Witnesses later remembered seeing the five laughing, cheering, and enjoying themselves. After the game ended around 10 p.m., they stopped at a convenience store. A clerk later recalled them buying snacks, soft drinks, candy bars, and cartons of milk.
Good evening, guys.
Nothing
Finding
about
everything
their
okay tonight?
behavior appeared unusual. After leaving the store, they began the drive home. That was the last confirmed sighting of the Yuba County Five. When none of the men returned home, their families became worried. This wasn't like them. Especially because they were looking forward to the basketball tournament the next morning. As the hours passed with no phone calls and no explanation, relatives contacted police. A massive search operation began. Investigators initially assumed the friends had been involved in a traffic accident. Instead, what they found only deepened the mystery. For days later, searchers discovered Jack Madruga's turquoise 1969 Mercury Montego. The car wasn't anywhere near the route the men should have taken. Instead, it was abandoned high in the rugged Plumas National Forest, nearly 70 miles from where they were expected to be. The winding mountain road was isolated, snow-covered, and extremely dangerous during winter. No one could explain why they had driven there. Even stranger was the condition of the vehicle. The Mercury wasn't wrecked. It wasn't stuck. Investigators determined that the car could have been driven away with very little effort. The keys were missing, but everything else appeared normal. There was still gasoline in the tank. The battery worked. The engine had no mechanical problems. Inside the vehicle, investigators found jackets, maps, empty snack wrappers, and personal belongings. Nothing suggested panic or violence.
Whatever happened,
it looked as though the five men had simply parked the car and walked away into the freezing wilderness.
Whatever happened, they walked straight into that darkness.
Search teams followed footprints leading away from the vehicle.
They just vanished.
The tracks disappeared beneath fresh snowfall.
The snow is too fresh.
Weeks passed with no new discoveries.
They just vanished.
Winter
How is
storms
that
made
possible?
searching almost
The snow
impossible.
is too fresh.
Families waited desperately for answers.
They just vanished.
Then,
How is that
in June
possible?
1978,
The snow is too
nearly
fresh.
4 months after the disappearance, a group of motorcyclists stumbled upon a remote Forest Service trailer hidden deep in the mountains. What they found inside shocked investigators. Ted Whiter was there. He had died inside the trailer. Yet evidence showed he had survived for weeks after entering it. The trailer contained everything needed to stay alive. There were shelves filled with emergency food rations, military-style survival meals, blankets, warm clothing, heating equipment, matches, books, medical supplies, even enough food to sustain several people for months. But almost none of it had been used. Investigators estimated that tens of thousands of calories remained untouched. Only a small amount of food had been opened. The heater had never been turned on. The trailer's windows remained closed. Despite having shelter and supplies all around him, Ted eventually died from starvation and exposure. Even more puzzling was his physical condition. Medical examiners concluded that Ted had survived for somewhere between 8 and 13 weeks after entering the trailer. During that time,
The victim is
someone
wearing
had
brown
wrapped him
leather.
carefully in blankets.
But the report said he wore black
His
sneakers.
beard had grown long.
So where are they?
His weight
The
had
victim is
dropped
wearing brown
dramatically.
leather.
His
But the
feet had
report said
become
he wore
badly
black sneakers.
frostbitten.
So where are they?
This suggested he hadn't
The
been
victim
alone,
is wearing
at
brown
least
leather.
not initially.
But the report said
Someone
he wore
had
black
cared
sneakers.
for him.
So where are they?
Someone had tried to keep him warm. Then, that person disappeared. Nearby, investigators found the remains of Jack Hewitt. He had died from hypothermia after the harsh winter conditions overwhelmed him. Several miles farther away, searchers discovered Jack Madruga and Bill Sterling. Both had also succumbed to exposure after wandering through deep snow. The distance between each body suggested the men had become separated while trying to survive. But one member of the group remained missing: Gary Mathias. His body has never been found. Only a few personal belongings were recovered. His tennis shoes were missing. Oddly, Ted Whiter was wearing Gary's leather shoes inside the trailer. No one could explain how or why the two men exchanged footwear. Gary's disappearance became the greatest mystery of all. Did he survive longer than the others? Did he leave the trailer searching for help? Did he become lost in the mountains? Or did someone encounter him after the others had died? No evidence has ever answered those questions. Another mystery soon emerged. A witness came forward claiming that on the night of February 24th, he had suffered a heart attack while driving on the same mountain road. Unable to continue driving, he pulled his car to the side of the road. Shortly afterward, he reportedly saw headlights approaching. He claimed several men stopped nearby. Among them, he believed, were the 5 missing friends. He also reported seeing another unidentified pickup truck parked in the area. The witness shouted for help. According to his account, the lights suddenly disappeared. No one came to assist him. Years later, investigators could never fully verify every detail of his story, but it added another layer of mystery to the case. Many theories have attempted to explain what happened. Some believe the friends simply became lost after taking a wrong turn. Others argue that Gary Mathias experienced a mental health crisis, causing the group to follow him into the mountains. Some suspect they encountered another person who frightened them or led them off course. Others wonder whether they were trying to avoid something they believed was dangerous. But no theory explains every piece of evidence. Why abandon a perfectly working car? Why ignore the food and heating equipment? Why travel miles through deep snow? Who cared for Ted Weiher during his final weeks? And what happened to Gary Mathias? More than 4 decades later, the Yuba County Five remains one of California's most perplexing unsolved mysteries. The mountains have never revealed all of their secrets. Somewhere beneath the towering pines and endless snowfields lies the missing piece of a puzzle that has haunted investigators since 1978. 5 friends left a basketball game expecting to return home. Only 4 were ever found. And 1 simply vanished into the wilderness.